Hey, everybody, this is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from warm, sunny Colorado. Always warm, always sunny, sometimes Colorado. How's everybody doing? Good day? It's been a good day for me, too. Been a busy day, a lot of work to do. But you know what? I had call after call with various engineers and scientists today, and I was looking at my schedule for the rest of the week, and I was just profoundly humbled by how much brilliance we've managed to amass at iGlobal and through our partners. Last night I had a chance to go into a community call that was hosted by two stake pool operators, Marco and Kyle, where they were talking around this concept of a guild that they were setting up for stake pool operators called SPACRA. And this is on the back of a call to action that I raised, saying maybe the community should think about creating trade associations to represent the interest of various constituencies. Less than 24 hours, it went from a hypothetical to something that people in the community took seriously and started executing. Combine that with the research output we're seeing and the code that we're writing. Combine that with the fact of how quickly we're able to clean things up and get things where they need to go. And the roadmap ahead, it's really humbling. It's one thing to see an ecosystem on a whiteboard and dream and plan and say, perhaps we can do this, or this should work, or maybe we can be here, or maybe we can be there. It's another thing entirely to actually see it working and see the people there and see the passion, the excitement, and see how reactive, proactive, and efficient people can be when they're incentivized properly. You know, our best days are ahead of us, and we're just getting started. It's just the beginning for Cardano, and it's a very bright future when we look ahead. I can't wait to see the technology that we can bring in the coming years. And we have a lot of stuff, as I keep mentioning, in our back pocket under the hood that we're working on that I think people are going to love. And 2021 is going to be a super fun year. It's going to be the clash of titans as we compete and we convince people we're the platform to build on. But it's also going to be the year where we really see a lot of projects and ideas about realizing the concept of economic identity actually come to fruition and actually see millions of users flow in from the developing world into the platform and start using it for various things. And they could be small things like fertilizer vouchers or some digital identity related to transportation, but they're meaningful nonetheless, and they have the potential to grow. Given the fact that we have, without a doubt, the best community in the entire cryptocurrency space, the most proactive community in the entire cryptocurrency space, and one of the smartest communities in the cryptocurrency space, a community that likes reading papers, a community that likes doing the homework, a community that likes building things, and a community that never once has asked for permission. That's the other cool part about it. They just do stuff. The only other time in my life that I was part of something on the technology side where I saw that were the early days of Bitcoin. Nothing existed back then. There were no exchanges, no hardware wallets, no paper wallets. The software often didn't work. We had massive volatility and hash rate. We all thought we were crazy. In a lot of cases, Bitcoin wasn't worth very much. Even if it was, you could never sell it anywhere. Yet there were a group of pioneers there who ended up defining that industry and building it. And there was a feeling, a magic to all of it. And I feel that same magic here with Cardano. I feel that passion. I see people take this seriously, and they understand the magnitude and gravity of everything. And that is, in essence, one of the most humbling experiences I could ever have, because I know that I was part of something incredibly special. And I have the opportunity to be with all of you in being part of that thing that's incredibly special. And I have a belief that Cardano is going to grow like a weed, and it's truly going to become an incredible platform because it already is one. And the world is starting to discover that and wake up to it. You know, there's a lot of polish we have to work on. Today I heard about Yoroi, and they finally got some stuff out the door, and they're in the Shelley era. Now we have 11 exchanges online. We'll clear a lot more this week and next week. And we'll all forget about that roughness. Shelley's out. First blocks are going to be made here pretty soon. And within a month, the staking experience will be a lot better. And then a month after that, it'll be a lot better. Month by month, we just keep improving. many more things to come. And after we finish those things, we don't look to the past and pat ourselves on the back and say how great they all are. We look to the future and say, what's next? People are already asking me when Goguen. That's a great rally cry. It's no longer a cry about delays and will it ever ship. It's more of an excitement and anticipation of the fact that now the platform can enable the dreams of other people. And that's a truly amazing thing when you think about it. So, of course, I'm pushing leadership and management as hard as I can. And anywhere we can accelerate things and push things a little bit faster to make sure that we have it as quickly as we can so we can get people there, I'll do that. But you know what? The teams are just as passionate and just as excited to realize these dreams with others. Next year, a lot of changes are going to happen. One of the things is that we're going to take the formal methods that we do for Cardano, and we're going to transfer those specifications to the custodianship of the Cardano Foundation. Because at the end of the day, that's the architecture, the blueprints of the protocol, and they shouldn't be in the hands of a company. They should be in hands of the community. And that's a good custodian once they're ready to receive them as a starting point. And then ultimately, I'd like to see the source management and the blueprints actually on the blockchain itself, and access control to those regulated through Voltaire so that they become true property of the community. They're open source, but the people who should decide ultimately how they're modified should be the community. So all next year, that's going to be happening. And then second, I'd like to see some more client diversity. I would love to see a client written in Python or JavaScript or Java to verify and validate the independence of the specifications from the reference implementation, the Haskell implementation, to verify that the code is the case. We saw this with Rust, but we chose a slightly divergent path because we wanted to test some things in the ITN. It would be nice to have two interoperable clients with each other made by independent teams, because then that will ensure true independence of the specification of the protocol, and it's not captive in one vision or one entity. And we need to achieve that for true decentralization. So these are some of the discussions that will occur next year amongst many, many, many others. And we have a pile about this thick. If you printed it out like Philippe did with research papers of unimplemented science that I would love to see implemented, brought in. And the industry as a whole has created white papers this thick that we can sift through and find the ones that we like the most, and remind everybody that ultimately cryptocurrencies are Darwinian systems and it's survival of the fittest, and we learn from each other and take from each other. And we have some good stuff we've made. They have some good stuff they've made. And you know what? When you put them together, you have a lot of good stuff that we can use to realize the dream of economic identity for billions of people who don't have it. It's not just a game of technology. It's a game of use and utility. And it's a game of driving adoption. And, as we get closer to the launch of Goguen, developer adoption is going to be a very high priority. And we have a strategy called ACID, stands for acquisition, collaboration, incentives, and deployment. And we need to make sure that in each of those verticals, there are good sub-strategies that will enable us to attract developers, work with them properly, incentivize them so they can get the job done, and give them a stable market to deploy the things that they've built to get to the end user and be able to make sustainability there. It's a business just like stateful operations a business. And guess what? We're going to see our own advocacy groups in that respect. But I'm very optimistic that we can succeed because this is a game that many people have played before, from Microsoft and TypeScript to what we've had to do to evangelize functional programming, for example. There's hundreds of ways to do it. And dev experience and dev evangelism is a well understood topic. And by no means does a project have a monopoly on that. And at the end of the day, if we're faster, more secure, cheaper, better than our competition, that already helps us along a little bit. But ultimately, what's most meaningful are applications, use, and utility that solves real life problems for real people and have great user experiences. You don't start with just let's build something. You start with let's solve a problem, a real problem that people care about. And then you work your way backwards to what you need to do to come up with a solution for that problem. And how do you get that solution to work well on our infrastructure? And that's what we're doing. And that's what Emergo is doing. And that's what the CF is doing, trying to imagine and dream these things. And very shortly, there are already hundreds of emails I've received. There's hundreds of people, if not thousands, who are floating around thinking about this every day in our ecosystem and in other ecosystems. So there's going to be no shortage of that. We just need to make sure they have the right incentives and the right collaboration to be able to get the job done. And in the coming months, that starts just like right now, staking is starting. And this will really make the platform pretty unique and special in a certain way. So our best days are definitely ahead of us, certainly on the technology side, but especially true with the community side. And I'd like to just take this opportunity to thank all of you for making my dreams happen. This was a fantasy 5 years ago, something I thought could exist. And I tried my hardest and I woke up every day to get here, but it only exists because of you. And it will only continue to exist if we all work together and we take it to the next level. And I have no doubt that's going to happen. I believe it. I'm a fanatic too. There are Bitcoin maximalists. There are Ethereum maximalists. And I guess Cardano maximalism isn't the belief that we're better than everybody else. Cardano maximalism is a certainty that the platform will deliver its vision and be able to build a better world. And so I am that. And I hope you are too. Thanks everybody for listening. And until next time, have a wonderful day. And thanks again.